Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Hitman and LiiLD.C. I'm just going to call him DC through this match, taking place here on Springtime version 1.3. Hitman spawning under the name Ethereal here as the yellow human. Meanwhile, LiiLD.C spawning as the red night elf over here on the top left-hand side of the map. A little bit of a delayed start there, so is it going to be a Tavern Hero? So yeah, Ancient of War first, Moonwell, Tavern Hero by the Night Elf. So not quite surprised. And Hitman going for Paladin. All right, or is it going to be Paladin? No. Okay, both sides going for Tavern Heroes? All right, so both sides going for Tavern Heroes. My brain's trying to figure out what this Tavern Hero versus Tavern Hero matchup is going to be. Both sides are going to run to a tavern, 2-minute, 15-second mark. About to get there, and we'll see who the heroes are in store. All right, for the Night Elf side, it is going to be a Panda going up against a Goblin Tinker. Hitman going Goblin Tinker first here. And is he going to go Pocket Factory? I gotta believe that he's going to be going for a Pocket Factory, but hasn't changed. There is finally that Pocket Factory. Hasn't actually used it, and clearing out this center creep camp while Militia clearing out a creep camp back at home. This is a very unique direction in terms of trying to clear out creep camps. Militia clearing an easy green creep camp at home while clearing out another green creep camp with Militia here, or sorry, with the Goblin Tinker that's out in the middle of the map. Are we going to see a little bit of damage? Wisp gets a detonation off. And, well, we see Claws of Attack +5. So, +7 damage already. Clockwork, that passive ability increasing the passive damage of that Goblin Tinker as well does move a little bit faster. We know how important all of that is, as these, well, Clockwork Goblins are going to be making their way out. Meanwhile, Panda already sitting at level 2. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire for those ability. Not too big of a surprise. Ice Troll Priest taking a little bit of damage through the woods, needing to back up here and needing to heal back up once more. Meanwhile, Goblin Tinker clearing up this Sasquatch creep camp, gonna pick up a Tome of Strength. I believe he's intelligent based. Yep, and picking up some tomes as well, and a Gloves of Haste. All right, this is gonna be a very interesting spot to be in as the Panda. Oh wait, how are these two armies going to engage against each other? Well, Tinker trying to pick up perhaps Boots of Speed, does pick up the Staff of Teleportation, and now going after some of these units here. The Goblin Tinker, remember, does have a faster movement speed, or a very fast movement speed, now that he's picked up those Boots of Speed as well. So there is a forced Ice Troll Priest. Is it going to get pressured, taking quite a bit of damage again, trying to catch up to those units, as the Panda now coming back across, got in a Breath of Fire damage, as this Peasant now tries to back away. Is it going to go after these creeps? And yes, does end up getting denied, as the Brewmaster being forced to, well, Scroll of Town Portal back home. Tree of Life off to the north. That Tree of Life 50 seconds away from being done. However, may end up being force canceled by Hitman. Or is Hitman simply just going to run on by? Nope. Finds it, gets a force cancellation, but does somehow get the Pocket Factory summoned up here. All right, we're going to go ahead and engage against all of these green units here. The Clockwork Goblins are popping out slightly faster, as we're looking at the Null Poachers and all these units about to get taken down. Meanwhile, Panda going to try and engage. Are we going to see a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across all those units? No, we are not. The Goblin Tinker is just an annoyingly fast hero. All right, I never realized how fast that Goblin Tinker was. You give him a pair of Boots of Speed, and suddenly he's just able to walk around the creep camp so quickly. There's a Gauntlet of Ogre Strength +3 left behind. A little bit of a present, apparently, as Hitman says, you know what, I want these mantles of this Mantle of Intelligence. I don't need that Gauntlet of Ogre Strength +3. Panda also very close to level 3 as well. And with that, level 2 Breath of Fire just around the corner. This game has been a little bit confusing in terms of trying to make predictions. Hitman most likely just going to be playing what I would consider an annoying style of play. constant hit and run tactics and constantly just trying to disrupt your opponent's game without clearly executing a game plan of your own. You can see there's the expansion down here. Hitman, well, in my experience, I know Hitman as just playing these economic games, playing non-standard play, and throwing your opponent off their game here as the Panda still doing a little bit of chasing. All right, the Footmen, we're looking to make sure that there is no expansion attempt off to the north here. And by making sure of that, well, knows that he can hold on to his economic advantage that much longer. Every minute is an additional 600 gold pulled out from that gold mine. And, well, that does translate to units and upgrades on the battlefield. Bar his... Yeah. I don't know, maybe that does happen. Footman now looking to retreat back here. Goblin Tinker finding an Ancient of War out in the middle of the battlefield. And, well, placing down a Pocket Factory. Did it actually get us around here? With that Pocket Factory in position, Ancient of War gonna end up falling pretty easily. Down it goes. And now where are these Clockwork Goblins going to perhaps run off to? They could actually rally off to the north and start dealing or dishing out just a little bit of damage there if they chose to. Goblin Tinker wants to get to level 4. Remember, the Goblin Tinker is one of those heroes where it has a very powerful passive ability, just like the Archmage. And with that passive ability, every hero level matters significantly as opposed to just, well, those odd levels. Archers moving away across the field. We are at Tree of Ages, getting up that Nature's Blessing. Tree of Life finally being built at that northern gold mine. Tome of Agility being left behind as the Panda is at level 3. All right, Panda gonna make its way down. Archers able to easily shut down the Blacksmith before it's operational. As the Goblin Tinker gonna go ahead and scroll Teleportal back. Mantle of Intelligence now being dropped, left behind. What is it gonna do? Perhaps place down a Sentry Ward first and then go back and pick up that item. There's some repairs. Pocket Factory now online. There's a Breath of Fire blowing things up and now taking down the Scout Towers as well. Panda could follow things up, get in another big Breath of Fire. Not quite sure why it's not doing that, or at least disrupting the healing. Very good opportunities for a very effective Breath of Fire as we see damage while racking up here. All right, Brewmaster, however, getting surrounded into a bunch of trees. Gonna have a little bit of a problem trying to break its way out of this paper bag as there's so many low hit point units. There's Breath of Fire taking down multiple Footmen, and now the Brewmaster sits at level 4, taking the hero level lead. A Goblin Tinker trying to run on by, does pick up a potion of healing as... how did it pick up a potion of healing? The Arcane Vault, we were not yet at tier 2. Did it pick up a potion of healing? It looked like it did to me. I don't know. Someone's going to have to clip that for me later. But the potion of healing is normally not available yet until you're at tier 2, right? Okay, that kind of confused me. All right, Goblin Alchemist out here. We're going to look at the Panda chasing after those targets. One Footman, he didn't buy a potion of healing. He just somehow healed a little bit. All right, thought he healed a little bit. Goblin Tinker, Staff of Teleport. He used the heal scroll. All right. Goblin Tinker, back at home now. There's that potion of healing. There's a Clarity Potion, and now buying another potion of healing as well. We're looking at the Panda and the Goblin Alchemist. Tavern heroes galore as a couple of guard towers are in position here. Are we going to see a lot of healing here? That is the big question. The archers want to push in pressure onto the scout towers and all of this position, but it may not work out well. There's a little bit more healing again. And now a big Breath of Fire. All of those militia already low on life. Remember, militia don't have that much hit points to begin with. So one Breath of Fire can nearly take down, one Breath of Fire can nearly blow them over if any real damage was already on them. All right, there's one quick tower now getting taken down. There's some more healing spray trying to keep these alive. We're looking at the Ice Troll Berserkers, Ice Troll, Shadow Priest, Archers, and Dryads trying to fight back here. Hitman's nearing completion on another tower, so it's going to be 4 towers here in this defensive spot with a couple of peasants on repair as well. All right, Another peasant getting taken down, but all of these peasant kills do start to add up as the Alchemist escapes away at 58 hit points. Goblin Tinker now down to 250 hit points as well. There's a little bit more healing spray. Alchemist nearly dead, down to 47 hit points, and able to back away. That Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, able to get in enough healing to keep it alive, and well, as well, another one of those Clockwork Factories are going to get taken out. All right. Footman with Defend, really reflecting back quite a bit of damage. Brewmaster, well, could turn around. Is he going to try to get a Breath of Fire across these units? No, it is not. Goblin Tinker with Scroll of Regeneration and Clarity Potion looking strong still. All right, are we going to see a Scroll of Healing used? Yes, we are. And now suddenly the entire, well, Night Elf army looking that much better as we're looking at a Breath of Fire. Goblin Tinker able to escape away at 95 hit points again. All right. Both sides continuing the fight. We're looking at the Clockwork Goblins. Are they going to end up killing any of those own friendly units on death, or enemy units on death? No, they are not. And the Panda now gets into position here in that frontline spot. There's a bit of healing spray. Brewmaster still okay on hit points. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest doing a lot of work here as this Ice Troll Priest needs to back up. Doesn't want to take too much damage. Brewmaster down to, well, nearly at level 5. Forest Troll Berserker, however, going to get taken down as these units back up. All right, so solo Goblin Tinker and now we are at tier 3 and now going into airplay. All right, so airplay, Griffins could be added in here. Do we have Animal War Training? Don't quite know yet as these units back up again. Why didn't he rocket 2 of them? They don't have rockets? Brewmaster Alchemist clearing up the remainder of this Forest Troll and Tracker creep camp. Meanwhile, Footman diving into the main Night Elf base now. We are at Tree of Eternity. We are getting up Ancient of Wonders, dual Ancients of Lore. No research going on. We are getting the reinforced hides for 0-1 upgrades. And currently, the Ancient of Wonder is going to get shut down here. It is 2 bases to 2 bases. Goblin Alchemist should get to level 3 off of this last Forest Troll High Priest. And we are now picked up a Devotion Aura for that Alchemist. Panda looking to fight their way through. We do see a Sap of Sanctuary and also an Orb of Slow. Interesting call. There's a Breath of Fire, and a couple of these units could easily get taken down. Let's take a look. There goes another Footman here. Brewmaster trying to chase after all these units. Does have Boots of Speed, so gonna try and go after another different target here. Dryads should be able to apply enough slow poison to perhaps finish off another Footman or 2 as the Panda still chasing after these units again. Dryad should be able to easily catch up. Are we going to see another Staff of Sanctuary? Orb of Slow attack could work. It looks as though Hitman's going to try and take down some of those lower hit point units. No Breath of Fire. And the Goblin Tinker, well, there's a deny. There's another deny. 2 low hit point Footmen easily getting, well, taken down. We are going into Griffins, not Dragonhawk Riders. We are getting up the Stormhammer and getting the Animal War Training. In addition to, well, level 1, I believe there is level 1 weapon and armor upgrades for all of those targets. Dryads need to be careful. They cannot turn into pin cushions for those guard towers. Guard towers dealing bonus damage here as we see a quick Breath of Fire bringing, well, nearly blowing over that guard tower there. Goblin Tinker just going to go ahead and run on by again. Meanwhile, Clockwork Goblins, remember, every time they die, they do deal a little bit of explosion death. So finishing, well, damned if you do or damned if you don't with those Clockwork Goblins as a Forest Troll Shadow Priest now taken down. Those Clockwork Goblins are coming out pretty quickly because of that level 2 passive as the Paladin, as the second hero here, also with the Staff of Sanctuary. All right, so Paladin, dual Staff of Sanctuary. Just wait for that item to show up there. Are we going to get a third hero? Triple Staff of Sanctuary, always very scary as the cooldown, well, is spread across 3 different heroes, and it feels like there's just a Staff of Sanctuary for days, especially when you're trying to deal 900 points of damage onto a single target, only to see all of that time invested wasted, as we do see Scourge Bone Chimes picking up that on that Paladin. Units looking to back away again. The Griffins perhaps going to go change targets, go after some heavy armored units, and start to make up a little bit of the experience deficit that we currently see. All right, you can see that Ogre Magi quickly getting taken down. Paladin sitting at level 2. Now there are Mountain Giants out here on the battlefield, and perhaps Knights with Sundering Blades are going to be needed. Goblin Tinker, is this a... well, Goblin Tinker surrounded. Goblin Tinker forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal to get away, and now the Paladin are... Nope. Kind of split the army in half here. All right, it's kind of in a weird spot. They don't want to try and engage. Dryads are right here, but only the Paladin and the Footman can deal with that Dryad. Hitman, a pretty big mistake. They're splitting his army. Staff of Sanctuary saving some units, just trying to make sure that they don't get picked off there. Meanwhile, Forestral Berserker, well, ventured a little bit too far from home, will get brought back. Goblin Tinker down to 212 or 215 hit points. He perhaps needs a Holy Light in order to stay alive, and there you are, a nice little big burst heal once more, and perhaps going to go after this Magnetar Reaver creep camp. Summon up a couple of units. No? Going to try to go after that. Is here. A little bit of damage, and that Pocket Factory is just going to get destroyed. Not the best use, as the Mountain Giants, however, are knocking on the door of the Town Hall and, well, saying, "Let me in," and about to take it down. Staff of Sanctuary, there's another save again, and we're looking at a big breath of fire, and one Griffin Rider does get taken out. Pocket Factory, level 3 Goblin Tinker is going to go for the level 3 passive. I believe level 3 passive is perhaps a little bit better, but no, goes for the level 3 Pocket Factory instead. 600 hit points, that's going to be higher there, and perhaps better explosion death as the Clockwork Goblins are making their way back out again. All right, a little bit more damage. Panda continuing the fight back here. Lots of repairs to try and keep this alive as the Mountain Giants, well, pick up those trees, getting a little bit more range, even though they are still considered melee units. Paladin, Scroll of Town Portal to try and stay alive here, and there's that repositioning. Are we going to see a Breath of Fire perhaps blow over the Paladin, and the Paladin could be in a little bit of trouble. There's a Holy Light as the Paladin tries to stay alive in this spot here. Goblin Alchemist continuing to try and heal as one Mountain Giant going to get taken down. Paladin, well, halfway to level 3 right now, and both sides are just trying to, well, win out in this war of attrition. Who's going to come out on top? There's another Pocket Factory being placed down. Paladin gets in another Staff of Sanctuary, 67 supply compared to 78. But, well, hero level advantage for Night Elf. Meanwhile, Hitman, well, cooldown on those Staff of Sanctuaries are starting to show as low hit point Griffin Riders want to get sent back home, but are not able to just quite yet. More damage coming their way through. More Griffin Riders repositioning again. Goblin Alchemist doing a little bit of a dance back and forth. We're looking at a Goblin Shredder down to 52 hit points, somehow able to stay alive. This army of Dryads going up against all of these Griffin Riders, and the Griffin Riders can't really deal with them at all. Night Elf sitting on 1,600 gold and also in high upkeep, down only getting 8 gold a second. We are getting Chimeras, and they do have that siege damage as well. So siege damage Chimeras are going to be able to attack from quite a distance. The problem, however, is that the Dryads on the ground are all relatively low on hit points. Well, Goblin Alchemist is going to go ahead and take care of that. Clarity Potion healing up. However, the Goblin Alchemist trying to heal up these low hit point Mountain Giants. More like trying to fill a swimming pool with a garden hose. 1,600 hit points, healing 200 every 8 seconds. Not going to really get the job done, well, quickly enough.
A player's forces are under attack.
Paladin about to get to level 3. There's another Staff of Sanctuary. You can see, well, the Griffin Riders getting sent back home. That's up to 72 supply now by Hitman, and still going to continue to train up more. Meanwhile, off to the north here, those Clockwork Goblins, you can see their explosion on death dealing quite a bit. So 452, and then boom, takes a lot of damage right there. So 379, and gonna end up getting taken down. Griffin Riders still escorting that Paladin. Paladin does have Devotion Aura over Divine Shield. We are looking at 2 upgrades. Are we getting 3? Yes, we are gonna get up to 2-3 upgrades here in just a moment to keep these Griffin Riders alive longer. All right, down to 700 gold in the bank. Paladin now up to level 4. Gonna have level 2 Devotion Aura maybe. And also some big damage. Dual Claws of Attack +8, but doesn't have an Orb of Slow. All right, Chimeras making short work here. Remember, siege damage, very effective. Well, the Chimeras perhaps should have been going after the main town hall, more efficient in terms of damage, and now we are looking at a bit of a base race scenario. Main gold mines have run out of gold, 71 supply compared to 86. Scroll of Town Portal, is it going to be enough? Are we perhaps going to try and teleport down? There you are, and there's some damage. However, the unit's able to retreat back here. Chimeras, what are they doing? They're trying to go after that Paladin, but the Paladin getting Staff of Sanctuary all the way back home. Tree of Eternity does already have the Nature's Blessing upgrade. Can eat a tree and then perhaps make its way across the map here. The town hall needed to get taken down first. A little bit of a mistake by Night Elf to not ensure that the town hall was taken down. Those Chimeras going after the towers first when, well, you need to make sure that no more mining is happening. All right, take that down. They deal bonus damage, 44 to 77. Yeah, you almost kind of wish that the Chimeras could use magic damage against those guard towers, but it doesn't work that way. You don't get to choose how you attack those buildings. Otherwise, those towers would have been taken down pretty fast, actually. Griffin Riders looking to clean up a couple of the wisps that are laid out across the map here. Tree of Eternity, while purposely rooting to not have heavy armor. Heavy armor on that Tree of Eternity would have been a downed a downed Tree of Eternity because of those Griffins and how quickly or how much damage they can deal. The Chimeras can provide sight up onto the high ground, but cannot actually attack them. So that is a bit of an issue here. As you can see, the Dryads, well, with that range of 500, able to poke slightly out of the corners. 70 supply compared to 79. Hitman still wandering around here. Are we perhaps going to see some long-distance mining? That's exactly what we're looking at now. And the Tree of Eternity no longer trekking over to that northern spot. Upgrades may become key. 2-3 upgrades going up against 2-2. Griffin Riders perhaps, well, one needs to actually get Staff of Sanctuary back home, but the Paladin and the Goblin Tinker are just too far away. All right, main army, well, venturing to push forward together. Well, get some damage onto that castle. Well, range damage there. There's some more Chimeras. Perhaps going after some of these units. And, well, Panda taking, or Paladin taking a little bit of damage, chasing after there. And now Mountain Giant. All right, Dryads needing to back up again, and this castle going to fall very, very quickly with that fortified armor. Tree of Eternity has made their way off to the north here, but now so is the, well, Griffin Riders and all of these units. There's going to be a Staff of Teleportation. Where is it traveling off to? Going to go ahead back down to the south side here and perhaps try and protect some of these buildings. Unable to protect as the Griffin Riders are now, well, circling back down to the southern portion of the map. 69 over 36 supply. Main buildings are getting taken down. There is a Staff of Sanctuary as the, well, the Mountain Giant looking to take down some of these buildings here. Mountain Giant, a bit of a pin or a very durable pin cushion against all of these buildings here. The Chimeras going to finish off the guard towers without much of a problem. As the, well, Mountain Giant here may decide to back up. There is an Orb of Slow. Goblin Alchemist continuing to try and catch up here. We're going to look at another downed unit. The Dryads could go after the Griffin Rider here as the Pocket Factory placed down to cause a little bit of a road jam. All right, nicely done by Hitman, making it difficult for the Dryads to actually catch up to the Goblin Tinker there by using the pathing as the Panda is now trying to fight back against all of those units. All right. Drunken Haze Breath of Fire across all of these Pandas, or all of these tightly grouped Griffin Riders. That could work out extremely well. Not quite sure what LiiLD.C. There you go. There's that Drunken Haze Breath of Fire. And the Dryads are down here as well, plenty of Moonwell. Are we going to see another Drunken Haze Breath of Fire? That's pretty much lasting forever and a day. Fighting in a sea of Moonwells is normally not recommended. What is Hitman really thinking here? Turn around, Drunken Haze Breath of Fire. There's a Breath of Fire again, and that is going to be it. Hitman has left the game as all of the buildings here or the pressure on these Chimeras would have mounted too much. You can see how much damage those Griffin Riders were taking. It did seem a little bit premature, but the Paladin does not have Divine Shield. He was going to get taken down, and that was just starting to add up again and again. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Do you think Hitman hit the premature GG, or was the hero level advantage on the level 6, level 4, and that Breath of Fire gonna, well, change or have the tides of battle, the winds of battle, blow in DC's favor? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.